Hi, I'm Nick Banta, and today I'm going to be talking to you about some of the best practices when using a radio in the workplace. Now, you may be thinking,
I don't need this. I know how to use a radio. All I do is press the button and talk.
I don't think so, buddy, but nice try. Let's begin. Now first, when pressing down the PTT button or push to talk button, make sure you count to 2 before you start your communication. And here's an example why.
And then put it on my desk so I could have the paperwork ready for tomorrow. You copy, Nick?
No, CJ, I did not copy that. Now let's demonstrate the proper way of using a radio.
Press, hold, wait, talk. Derek to CJ, come in.
Great job, Derek. Now, is this the correct way to call a fellow coworker?
John, come in.
Actually, that's incorrect. John doesn't know who's calling him. Let's demonstrate the correct way.
CJ to John.
Now, this allows you to know who is calling for who, as well as who's on property working for the day.
Is John working today?
Yes, he is. And I know that. You should also identify yourself when receiving a call for your department, like so. Nick to culinary. Culinary, come in.
This is Jonathan with Culinary. Go ahead.
No, don't look at the camera.
Again, this is so I know who I'm talking to and so I know who's taking care of the request. Now check this out and tell me how we can improve this. Nick to CJ. CJ, come in.
Go for CJ.
Now, CJ, can you please bring some passes to the west side room? Now, CJ didn't confirm that request by saying 10-4 or copy that on the radio. What you should do is wait 10 seconds and try to confirm the request. CJ, did you copy that?
Copy that. You were here the whole time? I was standing right next to you.
Derek, how do I find CJ?
That's easy, Nick. Just say, CJ, what's your 20? Or what's your location?
Thanks. CJ, what's your location?
Guys, seriously, I'm right here. You guys gotta stop doing this. It's not funny.
Now, when calling for a fellow coworker on the radio and they don't answer, only try calling a second time. They may be busy in a meeting, handling a guest request, or maybe they're just on break.
John to CJ.
If you would.
CJ, you
Definitely.
there? John to
Can
CJ.
you call me on maybe Thursday?
CJ. CJ.
If it's important, you can call on the third call like this. If anyone has CJ in their 20, can you have them call Nick? Now, what does stand by mean?
To stand next to you?
No, silly. It means that the person is busy, but they'll be right with you in just a moment. When you have a radio, you're empowered to call anyone else in your company that also has a radio.
Hey Nick, we have a spill over here. Do you think you could call housekeeping to clean up the mess? Oh. I'll do it. It's cool. CJ to housekeeping.
Now this goes for anyone who works in an area where there's guests around. You should always wear an earpiece. You don't want this to happen to you.
Hey, Derek, did you copy? We have a toilet overflow in here. Bring a plunger. A big plunger. Hurry up.
Let's run through another scenario.
Nick, can you bring a banquet menu to convention office?
Derek, can you bring this to CJ?
He's eating it.
CJ, please repeat.
Hey Nick, can you bring a banquet menu to the convention office?
Copy that.
Thank you.
Your mood really transfers over when you make calls on the radio. Try smiling and see how that affects your radio calls. Now let's talk about the 8-second rule.
So then I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even have a cat. And then he just went on about his business. But anywho, can you bring some paper to South Convention office? Thanks.
If your request or your response is going to take more than 8 seconds on the radio, try to see if the person who you're calling has a telephone that you can call them on. Now we'll have Derek talking to us about switching channels on the radio.
When you need to reach another department on another channel, wait about 6 seconds. You may interrupt another conversation taking place.
If you only speak Spanish, try speaking slowly on the radio so that others can understand what you're saying. Do you speak Spanish?
Sí, poquito.
Now, do you understand what Mike is saying?
Oiga, Charlie, tráeme una travesura acá porque estoy esperando para la travesura y la cocina. Gracias.
No, that was a little bit too fast for me.
So if you speak a little bit slowly, those who understand a little bit of Spanish will understand what you're trying to get across. Now, if you're having trouble getting into contact with any other department, contact your supervisor. We'll get it fixed.
Communication is key. We'll have your back.
Now, whenever possible, try to keep radio conversations short and sweet. For example, Nick to CJ, can you bring some more water to the convention office, please?
Nick, I have to install a phone in the Brentwood room. I also have to bring some paper to the front desk. It could be a little while.
Or it could be like this.
10-4, Nick. It's gonna take me about 15 minutes.
Now that's all we have today on radio etiquette. Tune in again next week when we'll be showing you some tips on how to save some energy. Really, CJ?
You told me to install the clapper.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so then I said, what are you talking about? I don't even have a cat.